it's a zero.
We make everything look good, including being overweight. So,
Scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells alkalytic.
The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be.
Happy Saturday, everyone. You are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. As you are coming in, go ahead and drop comments. Let us know that you are there. We encourage you to share as well. We are live streaming on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and on Instagram. So come on in. Let us know what kind of tea you're drinking. If you're drinking water, that's great too. That's what I'm drinking. But come on in, be a part of the conversation. We have a great show lined up for you today. We are talking about recall, effective, done for show, up-to-date reports. We're talking about forever chemicals, and then also reducing your personal exposure to forever chemicals. Dr. Zarif is going to join me here on stage so we can get started. Grand Rising to you. How are you?
And Grand Rising to you. Thank you, Kara. It's really great to be here. We're going to talk about these forever chemicals. What the heck is that? So we're going to make sure that you get a better understanding of that. And we're going to talk about recall. So the discussion, I want it to be a discussion, meaning that you get involved with it also. Take time to actually share it, because what we're sharing with you may be a lifesaver. We are very, very much getting too relaxed with the food situation today. And what happens with that is that many people get infected because they're not taking the right steps to avoid contamination. So let's really get into this. Let's have fun with this. And as we move forward, we're going to be sure that the things that we are sharing with you are things that you can put into action right away. Okay?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Go right
Go ahead.
ahead, Karen.
All right. So I just wanted to shout out some people that are here in the audience. Denise Kane says good morning, and she's drinking chamomile. Is it chamomile tea? Yeah, that's what she's drinking. So I like to make sure I point that out. Thank you so much for that, Denise. Allison Gentle, good morning, family. Good morning, Dad. How are you? Hey. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I don't have Instagram up, but hello, Instagram, and hello, Facebook. I'm going to get to them. Actually, no, that was you. You commented on Facebook, Dr. Zari. That's what it was. Okay. So we're good. And I'll continue to keep us updated with the chat.
Very good. Today, I want to also remind that everybody that this is No King's Day. And that means that people, millions of people, will take to the streets today all around the planet to protest this current government in the United States and all the things that upsets you, those things that are really serious. If you can protest, beautiful. If you can make a difference in the way that you treat your employees, if you can make a difference in the freedom that you teach that your children should always protect, or whatever, however you can give to this the protesting without if you can't, some people are ambulatory, some people are non-ambulatory. You have people that really and seriously can get out there young and protest and do that, do what you can do. Don't do anything that would hurt you or set you back, but do things that will help to push forward those people that are protesting today. Today, again, is the No Kings protest. No Kings. And all of those things you're going to hear over and over. They'll explain exactly what No Kings mean. And they'll also explain to you why it's so important, okay? And I know most of you probably already know, but we want to make sure that we say that.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Here we go with the discussion. You ready, Karen?
I am.
I want to say hello to Big Mouth. She's over here on Instagram. Thank you for being here. It's really great seeing you as always. Very important part of the fam. And let's go ahead and move on. First, when talking about the chemicals and the updates and recalls, this is really important because a recall actually, when you think about it, is actually the cognitive function, which is the brain. Okay, and it also means your ability to retrieve information from your memory without cues. Now, there are different types of recalls, and the types of recalls are, first of all, there's free recall, and that's remembering without hints, such as your grocery list. And then we have cue recall, which is remembering with a prompt, like, what fruit did you buy today? And serial recall is remembering in order. For instance, my phone number is 310, so forth. That is something that separates itself away from what we're going to be talking about today, another type of recall, and that is recall that recalls food products. Now, recall is essential for actual learning and education. Is learning for is essential for decision making, daily functioning. Your ability to recall can be influenced by the quality of your sleep, like deep sleep, especially where the body heals best, nutrition, especially brain supporting nutrients, stress levels, and age and neurodegeneration. So, all of these are very, very important. Again, welcome everybody this morning. This is the house. This is the mind of nature, and we want you to be sure to be here every Saturday, 8 a.m. Thank you for those of you that celebrate with us, that's been standing with us through the last 3 or 4 years. And I'm just really very, very proud to know you and to work with you and do things that we can do together. Some of the things that are, as far as recall, these are the different foods that are recalled. Why are foods recalled? You may ask this question because it seems they're all right when we look at them. So when we look right at the food, it looks like it's healthy. It even looks fresh. But the foods are recalled when there is a risk of harm, such as contamination. And this contamination is made up of bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria. All of these things really are very harmful to the human body. Now, the viruses and parasites are another thing. Now, people that eat plant foods don't really have to worry about parasites because plants do not have parasites unless it's been cross contaminated in some kind of way with a tool or fertilizer or things of that nature. Then there are parasites that we get from raw fish, and we get it from raw meat and chicken and turkey and those kinds of things. And sometimes it can be cooked. It depends on, there are different types of parasites. And we'll get into that later on if we have a little time, just for a little bonus there, so you can really think about why you should not eat foods if they're recalled. Now, some of the chemical hazards are pesticides and cleaning agents, forever chemicals, such as in some cases we have these forever chemicals, and we'll come back and talk about them. Those things that people use for personal care, like in your cosmetics, like in different sprays you may get, lipstick. Sometimes I'll see people in the department store, they are using something to I don't know what it is, but I know ladies use to curl up their eyelashes, and it might be a little of the things to make the to define the cheeks and all that. I think that's beautiful when a woman does what she feels that's good for her face, or her body as far as that is concerned. Um, but I do think that there is a line there, and we can talk about that later another time. But in the meanwhile, the responsibility for the things that you put on your face and in your body, this is very serious. So you can do things that will help you to avoid the infection, the contamination, and the hardships that that would bring on the body. Now, some of the physical hazards are foreign objects like glass and plastic and metal, because things come from all over the country. You don't think about that when you're shopping. You just say, hey, it looks good, it's nicely packed, I'm going to get it. But let's raise our consciousness so that we'll be able to do more about the informed decisions that we're making. We've been informed, but if we don't act on them, we negate it altogether. You can still get very sick. Undeclared allergens. Now, this we know well because the milk, peanut, soy, and wheat, so forth, are not listed on the label. And this is really dangerous because if a person is allergic to a certain nut, tree nuts, peanuts, those kinds of things, you can definitely cause, or it can be life threatening. So that is not to be played with or taken lightly. Some of the types of recalls, and I'll do it by severity. We start off with class 1. The class 1 is the most serious, and it can be serious illness or death itself. Contaminated meat with E. coli is the number one culprit here. Then we have class 2. That's temporary or reversible health effects. And this is minor contamination. However, it is still contaminated. And then we have a class 3 contamination, or the class 3 recall. And this is the least serious, unlikely to cause harm to, or cause harm, but violates regulations. So this is according to the rules that are set down by FDA and USDA, so forth. All of these are very important. So we need to know what happens during recall. Well, number one, we know that there's a problem. A problem is discovered, and testing, complaints, and illness reports. So people are complaining about it. Somebody ate something and it wasn't, it had something in it, or sometimes, most of the time, you can't see it, but there are infections that are invisible, and things like your different sprays and preservatives, especially when we go out to these places. Well, eat all that you want. Eat all that you want. You know, it looks beautiful, it smells great, and you sit there at the buffet and you pile your plate up without a thought about, could this be harmful to me? And is anybody there that's like telling you things like, and I think this what should be done is when we go to restaurants, the part of the menu should also be a report on how fresh the food is, some of the sources that people or the chefs get their food from, and the last time that it was tested. See, we don't take it, and I think it's going to get to that. Years ago, I said people that cook for other people should be dressed like surgeons. Now, some people don't agree with me. They're like, oh, that's family. You know, if they have like the aerosol that's coming out of their mouth and falling into a skillet, that the heat kills it. But let me tell you, I don't think that heat kills everything that jumps out of a person's mouth. And there are sometimes is not in the skillet. It can be when people are serving you your meal and they're saying, who had the lettuce, who had the potatoes, and they're talking. As they're talking, we can't see it, but invisibly an aerosol exists and it can be spread on the food, and we should take more responsibility in the way that we serve food, the way that we prepare food, and the way that we think about food altogether. Our foods, why are foods again recalled? Because again, the contamination, the chemical hazards, the forever chemicals, the physical hazards, and the undeclared allergens. All of those are very important, and keep that in mind. Well, let's move on to the next thing. Was what happens once it's discovered. We started on this. One thing that they do with the products after the testing and complaints and illness is that they notify the company, or the government issues a recall notice once it's reported, and products are pulled from the shelf and tracked and removed from distribution. Now this takes time, and then the customers are notified, and they're notified, we're notified by news alerts, FDA and USDA websites, and store notices. But here's the thing about that. Are they doing it on time? Are they giving us enough time to is there any way that we can test the food first? Or if they do know, how long does it take them to go through the whole process? Because remember, these are foods that are already purchased. And in many cases, they're foods that are already eaten and digested, and it's too late. So that's something that needs to be changed over the time that we're speaking about it, take it seriously, and find out more information of how you can contact different, like the United States or the FDA. They actually have a website, and all of these have websites. You can go on these websites and find out how you can submit a complaint. Now, what should you do when there's a recall? And that's where we are now. Now, when you stop, first of all, yeah, you got to stop eating the product immediately. Don't be chewing it on. Say, yeah, man, it tastes good, but I think something in it. It has to be, unfortunately, after the fact, when you get sick from it, and then you make a call or you contact the USDA, FDA, CDC to give them the information and tell them what you think that's happening, and they'll from there they can make the different moves. They also check the brand names, the lot number, the expiration date, and they'll let you know, either throw it away safely or return it for a refund. Now, returning it for a refund may be a way to get your money back, but that if something happens on meat or chicken or fish or dairy products, those things should be taken away immediately. But remember, those products are up there on the shelf and in those coolers to do what? To sell. So people aren't going to be moving at a neck breaking speed in order to take everything off the shelf. And that's just reality. So we have to make some better choices and do some things that will definitely help us to make safer choices, because remember, some of this can be so severe, like especially that class 1, so severe that it's also life-threatening. Now, we talked about the recall. I want to take a break here for a second so we can make sure that we speak to our folks, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk about forever chemicals. Okay, so let's go over here back to Care. And Care, let's go ahead and say hello to the people that took time to get out of that bed.
Or they may still be in bed, and that's good too, right? But either way it goes, they are tuning in, and we definitely appreciate that. Let me see here. Happy Saturday, Shirley, gentle, smart. Hey, hey, hey! Happy Saturday to you too. Good to see you. Hey, sister. Let me see here. Let's grow, Doc. Thanks for the knowledge. That's from Not Your Average Joe podcast. Thank you so much, Joe, for tuning in. We so much appreciate you coming in
Joe,
and supporting. Yes, Yolanda Rogers saying it's hard just trying healthy nutrition. Way too much going on with the foods. I know that can be it could be a lot going on with the foods. That's why, and see that comment right there, it just lets us know that we are on the right track as far as bringing the information to you. Tuning in to what Dr. Zarif is saying, what he posts on social media on a consistent basis is going to help you with keeping you up to date with what's going on. Because I think sometimes it can be overwhelming for anyone that's just like, oh, it's too much. And sometimes when it's too overwhelming, people, instead of do something, they do nothing. So that's another thing too. So
and the thing about it, Carrie, is that we need to take more responsibility. People that are already wealthy, they don't worry about that because they purchase the best foods, they have the best freezers, they have the best homes and storage, cool rooms, temperature controlled, climate controlled storage rooms, things of that nature. If we stay in a state of struggle, we're always struggling, and that's what many people do. That's the whole idea of chitlins and hog maws and tripe and all that stuff. Those are struggle foods. Those are foods when people were slaves, and the slave mentality, the slavery is gone. You can take a person out of the slavery, but can you take the slavery out of the person? If you think about it, people that continue eating like this and ferocious. They want you before a plate that's piled up. It's a lot of people can't control themselves because they came up like that and they continue to eat like that. And usually we overeat. Get out of the struggle mode for one thing, because food is very abundant, and there's horticulture. There's different ways to garden now, and you can plant your own foods. That's always pretty much been available, but having enough room and understanding insects and rodents and where you're planting the seeds and all of that, everything comes with a fee. It's nothing free. So you got to know that it's going to take you some more energy, more than what you have, or using your energy in a different way so that you're using that kind of decision making ability to get the best food in your body. Stop eating like slaves. And I know a lot of people have made $1 million off of soul food, and they continue to do it. And some people think that the more soul food that they buy, the blacker they are. But the food ain't got nothing to do with the culture. In this case, like, in order for you to show up as an authentic black person or black family, we eat soul food all the time. Now, if you're going to eat soul food, now not a lot, but there are people that are eating the soul food, making it delectable, but without the pork, pig back and pig snout and pig ears and pig feet, and all that is just really just ucky. I remember when I used to go and they used to have, meaning like the store owners, used to have these big glass bottle jars on their counter, and in the jars they would have pickles, and in another jar they would have pig feet.
uh-huh.
And people used to go there and get pickled pig feet, put it in like some paper, and people would put something on it. It depends on how they wanted to season it, and that would be like a snack.
Hmm.
Man, that is, and that those, I don't know if that still happens. I don't think so, but it could, because I'm just talking about from a California point of view. Care?
Right. No, I've seen that before. And there was a this guy that I knew, he did like a skit about it where he went into the store, bought it, and as soon as he stepped out the store, he was eating it. So it's one of those things that I've seen before, and and unfortunately, it's again something that people would call being a part of the culture, being something that um, they can relate to, and the nostalgia that comes from it too, right?
Yeah,
Um,
definitely, because it's emotional, it's biological,
mhm.
it's spiritual, it's connected with us in ways that is hard to shake. That's why people are so defensive about food, because it becomes their religion,
Right.
and people continue to hold on to those same ways, those same beliefs, and those beliefs become their reality.
Absolutely. Just want to give a quick shout out here. Pooh Sister 8 says, good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Happy Saturday to you as well. Yolanda's out there sharing, and we appreciate it. Yolanda says, I only eat like once or twice a day, and I'm good. Doesn't take that much. Good nutrition is an important investment, and that is so true. I do absolutely agree with your nutrition being an investment, and some people don't look at it like that. So I'm happy that you do. Elissa, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. She's saying good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, Dr. Zarif, I know you have more information. You talked about the recall. But something that you mentioned as well is when you're going out and you're eating, and people should be dressed like surgeons, meaning having gloves, they're wearing a mask, they're wearing something for your hat to make sure that your hair's not getting in the way of your food. um I remember someone saying, just be careful or take notice of when like someone that's serving the food, they'll come out with the tray and they'll have the tray like right here and they're moving with that tray. And they don't think about it, but like dandruff can be in your hair and can be going in their hair and going off in your food as well. So, it's like a presentation. They bring it out and it looks cool, but just be aware of something like that as well. So there's this, just certain things to look at whenever you are eating out. Yeah, you never know.
That's great, and you will know because you're going to be looking at the mind of nature, and that's what we're here to do. On the exercise, we got Not Your Average Joe. He's doing this thing with exercise, so definitely check him out so that you can get up in the morning with him. He's been doing this for day after day after day after day, and everybody do what you can, starting from where you are. You don't have to say, I got to get one more piece of equipment and I'm good to go.
Right.
Start where you are.
Hmm.
Start where you are. Look, when you start doing, spreading the news, educating people, we ourselves are developing our techniques better. We're choosing better words. We're choosing the frequency in which we speak. We take time to look at the topics that we're going to discuss. We would think about our lighting and the audio and all of those things. That comes little by little, but start where you are, which
Hmm.
I get back to No King's Day today. Today is No King's Day, and we really need to do all that we can, if even if it is watching it on TV and supporting that particular station. But do what you can where you are. Some people can go down and protest, and other people aren't able. But use your mind to change some of the behavior and the way that we treat each other, the way that if we just sitting down and just watching stuff happen, get on your horse of the protests. I don't
Yeah.
know, see that, and let's do something about it. This is a serious matter. So let's get back over here to the forever chemicals, and again we thank you. Forever chemicals are actually the perfluoroalkyl or the polyfluoroalkyl substances. That's what the PFAS stands for. Per or polyfluoroalkyl substances, and they are a large complex group of synthetic chemicals that have been used in the customer's products around the world since about 1950. And in the 1950s, these chemicals that have been used in the consumer products are actually some of the ingredients in various everyday products, the stuff that we take for granted. It can be cereal, pancake mix, it can be cornmeal, it can be something that's already in the can, even. Things that we look at when we go in produce department in those supermarkets, and when we in the meat department. There are, remember, they are appealing to our five senses: the way it looks, smells, tastes, the way that it sounds, all of those things, and the way that it appears. All of those have to do with our five senses. They are ingredients in various everyday products. And for example, in the PFAS, or the polyfluoroalkyl substances used to keep from sticking to the packaging or the cookware, or make clothes and carpets to resist stains. All of these things. Even, did you know, even the forever chemicals can be like the smell that you get when you get a new car? All of those things can be very harmful. And those forever chemicals have a chain linked carbon and fluorine atoms. And these are definitely harmful to the body, because the carbon fluorine bond is one of the strongest. And these chemicals do not degrade easily in the environment. And that's why they're called forever chemicals. You can find them in contamination, non-stick cookware, fast food packaging, pollutants, water-resistant fabrics, stain-resistant products, personal care products, water-resistant clothing. All of these things that we just say, oh man, this is good, it's water-resistant, or oh look, I don't have to worry, no wrinkles. These are some of the things that are hidden and that can definitely be deleterious. Now, what are the forever chemicals? Again, basically speaking, is a common name for man-made chemicals. And again, or polyfluoroalkyl substances. Now, why are they called forever? Because they do not break down easily in the environment. They stick around a long time. Would plastic be one of them? Absolutely. So you have those chemicals that can last for years and years and years, and they aren't biodegradable. The accumulation in the body over time can be a problem. This is why people start the children off eating certain cereals, and by the time they get 30, they're 35, 40 years old, they have problems with their gut, and they don't know why, because they've been eating junk for 30 something years. And this is something that we can definitely change. The accumulate we talked about the accumulation in body, but what else the forever chemicals can do is they can persist for years or even decades. And that, I want you to know, that's a long time. And we're even talking about after you pass away, you still have the chemicals are still here, and they can definitely ruin the earth. So they can pollute the earth, can definitely compromise the soil that we are eating or getting or picking our fruit from. So all of this is important. They have been widely used in everyday products like non-stick cookware. That's the cookware. That's the so-called Teflon. You know, the non-stick stuff. That stuff eventually, if you see a pot pan that's been used over time, what you see is it starts to wear away. Where is that going? Is it going in the food, or is it just, you washing it down? Is it going into the sink? therefore going into our water supply. See, it's bigger than what it really appears. Also, some the forever foods are found in fast food packaging, stain-resistant carpets and furniture, firefighting foams, and contaminated drinking water. Remember dysentery not too long ago, right? I mean, that is something that we keep in mind. Why are they dangerous? Because research has actually linked the PFAS exposure, the forever chemicals, to hormone disruption. We're talking about the human body now. Immune system suppression, increased cholesterol, liver damage, and developmental issues, increased risk of certain cancers. They can also cross the placenta, meaning exposure can begin even before birth. Now, I want to go ahead and move into a little more about the forever chemicals, but before I do that, I want you to participate with me. If you will, right now, go to your comments and comment and make some comments like, I'm getting something from this. This is very helpful. You can put yes down, and that means that you agree that these are some of the things that we should work on. Or you might have a question. That's why we're here. I don't want to lecture to you. I want to do a little bit of that and get a little bit of this. Okay, fair enough. So let's go back over here. We're going to go back to the studio, and we're going to see many comments. I see we got a few comments up here. And good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Oh, good. I see here. Elissa Palmer, thank you very much. 3149. Yes, this is helpful. Great, thank you. Are you any more people? We want you to. Oh, good. Wow, this is real good. I was going back the other way. But thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate it. Want to get a yell out to James Norman, Tony Parker, Horace Parker, Michael and Jennifer Carlisle. We want to give shout outs. Thank you to Big Mama for that. This is really, really wonderful when we can meet up and talk about these things. It's just really so important. And then we're talking about also, again, guarding your life. Protect your peace, and the chemicals will definitely disturb your peace if you are not aware of these things. I'm really serious about the thing that as far as you should know what you're putting in your body. And let me see, I'm going to make a note right here because some things that I said today that I want to follow up on. Sometimes.
And while you're doing that, Dr. Zarif, I just wanted to say over on Instagram, Ruth Taylor says, yes, this is helpful. So I just want to make sure that we have her on record. Hi, Ruth. How are you? Just wanted to go ahead.
Hi, Ruth. Yes, indeed. This is beautiful. You see this right here? This right here, if you're looking at all of the germs and all of the contamination, and you see even with there's squash and apples and all that stuff, you want to eat stuff fresh. And if you see them looking bad or they have soft spots on them, and I remember when I was a child that we used to always talk about, ooh, this worm. If worms being, and that we didn't know, of course, but the children would say they thought that worms would be in apples all the time, so they would look for them. But as we got older, we knew that there were other things biologically that was happening with that fruit and vegetable. So definitely take time. A lot of times things don't look the way that they really are. So be sure to stay with us, learn with us as we go, find out some alternatives to what we are witnessing in our markets today. And remember, again, people with all the cash, they own the stuff, they got deep pockets and stuff. They do not, poor people eat the stuff that they're compromising their health with. And that isn't the best way to go. And let's go and make sure that when you put it in your body, that is something that can help your body. I do not put anything in my body, and my body shows that. I mean, of course, you can't see it through my shirt or my pants, but I'm talking about, embracing your health where your body is giving you the optimal reaction. You want the optimal reaction. You want to feel great. You want to feel like you can live on forever. We know that we got an expiration date, but we want to live every day until we're a pile of, like, Les Brown says, I want to be just a pile of dirt, a pile of sand when I'm finished with this life, because I want to do everything that I can to enjoy it all. Okay, we on the same page? All right, looking good. Ellipse Soleil, thank you for this. You have a message here. I have a friend that was exposed to an environmental chemical that caused cancer. This is very helpful information. Thank you, my dear. That's really great of you to share that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that's happening like that, and the forever chemicals, they're linked to cancer, they're linked to hormone disruption, immune issues. All of this stuff is definitely real, is happening as we speak. New research. Now, when we talk about research, guess what? There are hundreds of, as far as research is going, there are hundreds of studies and tests that are going on constantly every day to discover ways to make it easier for people that are sick, and also things that help you to avoid other illnesses by taking certain medications. Medication can be very, very instrumental, even if right now, if we said, you know what, I'm going to stop eating or using the medication. It can really have a great impact on people's lives, because now people are living longer with the medication than they did without the medication. Now, we're finding out things, but it never ever happens without your participation. Just don't depend on doctors to bring up the solution for the diseases, but you be responsible, knowing that some of the basic things, vegetables, grains, legumes, nuts, fruit, all of this is good for that wonderful body to stay very vibrant. And I think you will get the once you start hearing people say things, this is where I think that the compliments are helpful. It's when people recognize. It's really recognition. It's not that I want somebody to pat me on the back, but the recognition is definitely wonderful. Okay, so if you're concerned about the shifting from positive risk to clear long-term health impact, especially with younger populations, this is what you do. You simply just make better selections. Now, scientists are now using birds of prey as the sentinel species, meaning that the forever chemicals levels are so widespread that they show up across the entire ecosystems. These chemicals don't break down naturally, and they can persist for hundreds of years in water, in soil, and in the human body. Now, this is why they're called forever chemicals. Now I want to go here. I want to talk about how to reduce your personal exposure to forever chemicals. Starting off with water. Water is most important, and this is the number one source for most people. Now, what to do is to use a high quality water filter, and that is like Culligan. Culligan works really good. I'm not endorsing anybody. I know that just the facts and the testing from these particular what I'm about to share with you is something that really can help you tremendously. Now, when you talk about Culligan or you talk about other filters like zero filters with 5 stages, that's what you want to look out for. Use a high quality water filter. Some of the best options would be reverse osmosis, and that's the most effective, I think, that's available today. And then activated carbon filters. And you want to look for the NSF certified for PFAS. This is very important, okay? Your filter, make sure that you filter your drinking water, your cooking water, and your ice. Okay, you can get away with it like if you're showering because it's falling right off the body. You're not in there drinking it, and this is also a good way, keeping your body until you actually get the tools in place to help you to maintain that water that has been treated by reverse osmosis or filtration. Is really those are some of the things that are very important. So you want to avoid assuming that bottled water is safe. Many they still contain PFAS because they've had millions. Where do millions of bottles go? Those plastic bottles go. They don't say, "Ooh, well, they changed it. The law's different. Let's throw it away." Think about that. They don't do it. The same thing with a lot of the cows, the cattle, the goats, the pigs, all of that. If a pig is sick or maybe an infected leg or something like that, man, they may cut off that part, but they're going to use the rest of that sick animal's body. And usually we can get those kinds of meats and those type of flesh products, and those are used for the cold cuts, lunch meats. Like people still feed their children lunch meats. There's some great plant-based lunch meats, and you have to look out. Do your due diligence, find out exactly where they are, and they're available. I'm telling you, there's some good stuff out there. I eat very well, and I don't eat meat. Now, if you want to eat meat and you want to eat chicken and you want to eat ribs and all of that, you're going to have to reduce your portion. You also reduce the risk of disease. So I know that some people, I'm eating my ribs, man. Nobody tell me. And I always say more power to you because it is your body, and usually that's the way that people respond to it. But guess what? That body isn't yours. That body belongs also to the people that you love, and those people that love you back, and those people that want you here, and those people that want you to be healthy. So keep that in mind before you go on a tangent about that's my body, I do what I want to do with it. Now again, we're back to the forever chemicals. Remember, there can be contamination in the water also. And this can, we're talking about the things that we're facing today, all the pollution. And again, the very wealthy have been selling the foods that are harmful, planting the foods that are harmful, own the companies that have the seeds to plant the foods that we eat. It goes around and around. But the people what happens when something breaks out? Who's the most affected and who's the most unguarded? People that are everyday common people that are deprived of a healthy environment. And this goes on, and we want to make sure that you're making very good selections. So we're going to go ahead and speed it up just a little bit because I want to keep you on task. Today is No King's Day. Make sure you check your TV. If you're not hip to it, you will find out more about it. But this is the biggest protests ever recorded in the world. Today will be definitely, watch what I tell you, a history maker. And it is because we have been so, when people are started getting murdered in daylight, meaning that they're not sneaking to do it, they're very brazen. So make sure that you check it out so you will have, we need to also, we don't want to become hard and insensitive and desensitized to life, where anybody can do anything to anybody. You see a woman getting beat up, you kind of like, that always happens. Never, we don't ever want to get like that. We want to get this, reclaim our children again. There's a lot of children that are fighting their parents, swinging back on mom. That would not exist in my lifetime. But it seems that there are people that are losing control of their families, and they're getting desensitized, murdering and hurting and busting down. Law used to rule the land, and now law doesn't rule the land. People are making it up as they go. Muhammad Ali used to say, because they have the complexion for protection. And that is something that we want people to wake up and definitely look at. We have the one and only Dr. Thompson, Dr. James Thompson in the house. How you doing, brother? It's so great to see you. We're going to have a really great time coming up. I think it's April the 11th is our next, I believe this is when Dr. James will be back on the show, and we always get a great turnout. So let's keep that going. Thank you, everybody, for being your patience. We're going to continue, so don't get about that chair or wherever you're sitting now, or if you're driving and listening. Thank you so much. If you're in prison, hey, stay in there, hang in there, brothers, and let's get some good information, because you can use this anywhere. Now, the forever chemicals are heavily used in as I talked about, the Teflon style stuff. And some people swear by it, but remember that stuff eventually over time will be removed from its base, and that can be very detrimental. So instead, let's go back over here, find out. So instead, you want to use stainless steel, cast iron, ceramic, and they have very wonderful collections of glass, although it's rare. But you have some of the glass that's good for baking, glass that's good for as a teapot. I had one of the most beautiful glass teapots, and I had company, and that was the end of that. It was oops. Man. Anyway, just sometimes you just can't find the words. But hey, I'll get over it. Sometimes I'm sensitive about my stuff. So here again, when we talk about some of the chemicals, we're talking about in food and packaging. So the forever chemicals often come from what food touches, the contamination, not just the food itself. Like, you might hear the broccoli, there's a recall on the broccoli because the broccoli was contaminated with E. coli or salmonella or shigella. You find it, but mostly E. coli you will find in this circumstance. But, the thing that we want to do is that we want to understand do you wash your hands? Do you wash your food? After you had broccoli out in the produce section, and you've had thousands of people come through there, touching it, putting it back, and then picking up another. And then some people just take their stuff home and they run cold water over it and make it look like it's fresh. And then they actually cook it, hoping and wishing. One thing, they think that by saying a special prayer is going to erase all the possibilities of them eating something that isn't good for them. And then the other thing that happens is that just because it looks clean and fresh, it can have microscopic contamination. And keep that in mind. The other things as far as fast foods and packaging would be the fast food wrappers. You know, like wrapping up the sandwich or the burrito or whatever they're doing. Even in that, you have to be aware of how does it affect your food, and does it affect your food when your food is wrapped up in it. I certainly I use wax paper, or I'll use what is that other paper called? It doesn't come to mind now. But I use, what is it? No, the paper that it's like wax paper, except it doesn't have wax. Anyway, all of those things. Some of you know what I mean. Put it in the comments and tell me what I may be missing there. Grease resistant packaging, like for the pizza boxes and the burger wraps. These are wraps or packaging that are designed to repel the oil spotting and all of that. Parchment paper is it. Thank you very much, Pooh Sister 8. That is it. Yeah. And that is like I put that, and then I'll take the aluminum foil on top of it, not touching the sandwich or the food, but wrapping it up. You see, and so that's is aluminum foil safe? Aluminum foil actually is safe, but it isn't safe if you are cooking with it and you're putting your food on it, and it is in an oven that's 350, 420 degrees Fahrenheit. That could affect your food because there are molecular structures that can come loose, that can be absorbed in the very meat itself, and that's why it's not really cool to cook with aluminum. Now, one of the things that a lot of people, this is an example, when people buy those self-made crust and they have those aluminum pans, the crust looks great. It's great for the sweet potato pies and all that, but guess what? Again, the heat, the aluminum, the molecular reaction that we can't actually see. This can be very dangerous to the human body. So that's my share on that. Choose whole foods, less packaging. Also, but get it used to making water in a bowl, in a sink, everything clean, everybody, and then take a few, and I know I have to do this because I move too fast sometimes, but take your food and put it into the sink, let it soak for a few minutes, just a few minutes. It's really, sometimes you see that shiny little rainbow that's kind of floating in the water. That's something that was sprayed on that particular vegetable or fruit, and you just removed it. After that, you want to rinse it well. You want to pull the florets apart so that the water can get in between it, and then you want to shake it off, okay? You may not get everything, but you can definitely reduce the possibility or risk of contamination. Okay, I'm going to stop there because we're definitely going over time here. Before I go, I do want to share with you, especially my sisters. Look, if you are into a lot of cosmetics and you use a lot of the cosmetics, putting it all on your body, all around your body, there is a risk there when it comes to personal care. Personal care is trending. Everybody's into personal care. But this is often found in makeup, especially in the waterproof mascara and foundation, dental floss. Some brands have coatings on the dental floss that can be stuck in your teeth and you can swallow, and then lotions. Now, lotions smell good. Some of them have sugar added to it. They seem like they would work, but you should definitely be aware of the um, uh, the chemical, the compounds in the ingredients, because sometimes those chemicals can do the opposite of what you're expecting. Like those chemicals can be harsh to the skin, because when it's over a pH of 5.5, then you're having problems, especially when it becomes extremely acidic. Now, remember that it was the time with the sisters used to get something for the hair and make it bouncy and tameable, or whatever they were using to describe the results. But that it was a guy that used to say, use it ever so gently, and you massage it in your hair years ago. Yeah, somebody out there knows. And what happened is that it was too alkaline. So the mixture of the chemicals were not balanced. So, and that balance that it needed for that particular product to do your hair, like the conditioner and the hair wash, affected the hair, where ladies start to lose their hair. That's why that product isn't around anymore, because it caused people to go bald. And you might know it. Pool sister number 8 might know again. So keep those things, keep those in mind, everybody. Ah, hey, you know what? I'm standing there for the love of my people and care. I'm sure I'm speaking for her too when we say we really want to do everything that we can to help you make better decisions, and to get that junk out of your house. If it's in your house, it'll end up in your mouth. You want to get that stuff out of your house, and choose foods that are healthy for you. Get back into your exercise. Move your body. It doesn't move it. I said move your body. I didn't say what to do in specific, but move your body. As long as you move in your body, the part that you move in is the part that you're going to develop and stretch and get more RAM or range of motion. Let's recall your health. That's what I'm talking about today here in the Mind of Nature. Thank you so much. Before we go, we're going to give Kara a chance to do a little sign off. And here we go, Kara.
All right, thank you so much. This comments from I had Yolanda. Yolanda gets to all the areas to share. She was over on Instagram and she was talking about the lunch meat. When you mentioned lunch meat, she said Ben stopped eating lunch meat. So
Yeah.
that's something that she made sure she cut out. And then Ruth Taylor was also helping with you with that word that you just couldn't figure out, which was parchment. So those were the comments over on Instagram. Unfortunately, we can't show it on the screen for Instagram. Hopefully they update that, because I like to be able to just combine everything. But I just thank everyone for showing up and supporting, for commenting, sharing the live. We really do appreciate every time you come here and you're commenting. It helps to boost the algorithm, which is something that the internet uses and says, oh, they're commenting over there, they're liking, they're sharing. Let me send more people to this live. So whenever we ask for that, we're not just asking just so we can see it. It does help also with us being more exposed to others who may be looking for the information but just can't find it. So we thank you all for doing that. Dr. Zari?
Thank you so much, Carolyn. We are definitely in debt to all of you that's taking time. Again, make sure that you mark your calendar. Dr. James will be in the house April the 11th, 8 a.m., and that is going to be on the social networks that we're on. So check that out. It's going to be wonderful. Another thing I would like for you to do is to subscribe, especially those of you go to the Dr. Farid Zarif channel on YouTube and subscribe. It's really, we're getting more and more. We've increased. I remember we used to look at 9, 10. 12 people, and we're like, oh, we're in the double digits. Uh, but we know that we're helping people by your comments, and we know that you appreciate it. And we have some of the best doctors that are on our show, and we have some of the best topics that we discuss. We got Carolyn in the house. This is really excellent time to get your body together. Make a commitment right now. Stop putting crap in your body. Stop putting crap in your body. Stop doing that. No matter how funny and cool it might seem, it can increase your risk of illness and disease, infection, and even death. I want you to keep that in mind, not to boo you, but I'm not talking about that to scare you, but I'm just saying these are facts. These are facts. We talked about the nutrients and how it helps your body, but it's facts. If you don't take the initiative to take care of you, then you leave yourself open for all the other risk that can hurt you. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.